Hello, beautiful people. I know many times I have criticized King Charles, and I have reasons to do so. I will not criticize him for inviting Harry and Meghan and the invisible children for Christmas. I know, shocker, shocker. This is a surprise to everybody. And we're going to get into this about Harry and Meghan's response, how they're going to turn this around, and how they are trying to manipulate the press to continue attacking a man who is fighting cancer. How ungracious they are. So let's get into this video today, beautiful people.
Car and driving up, and he's, you know how to curtsy, right? And I just thought it was a joke. Like, I curtsied as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
As we all know, the royal family, whatever their flaws may be, they're all about family. Queen Elizabeth II, she loved her family. I mean, she even allowed Fergie to stay, and after she was divorced, and did all those awful interviews with Oprah. She trashed everybody after she was caught selling access. I mean, she stood by Andrew, and even with her daughter, Princess Anne, who's kick-ass, and all the scandals with her divorce. Through everything, the Queen has always been all about family. And maybe King Charles, when he was in the thick of his affair with Camilla, his attention was absolutely 100% focused on staying with her. It was all about Camilla, to the detriment of his children. I'm not saying he was a bad father, but clearly he had other priorities, or at least it came across that way. This is not me bashing him, because it's not about that. It's just the way it was. When Prince William got his head hit and he needed an operation in his head, and it was quite serious, he just went to the hospital for half hour, and then he took off, I think, to play polo or to an engagement where Camilla was there. There's been very many instances like that. I do believe, for example, that famous picture of the Princess Diana running in the school races and everything. There is that famous picture, but there's also another one of King Charles running in the same races. But of course, he wasn't Princess Diana. But he was there. He did run as the father in the races. Not very many people know that. He did, contrary to the lies that Harry has told about his father. He was more of a present father than Harry is to his invisible children. He used to ride the bike. There's videos where they would take them to Balmoral when they were kids and they were playing, fishing. I mean, there's all sorts of things they did when the kids were away on vacation, and they spent their summers at Balmoral with the Queen. And they had so much fun, to the point that when Princess Diana phoned them the night before she died, Harry didn't want to talk to her because he was having too much fun with his father. So, and one thing we have to say is that King Charles was very gracious to Doria, the ex-convict, and Meghan Markle, the D-list mattress actress. He was very gracious. He paid her huge bills, because it wasn't that he gave her £1 million budget. It's that she just kept getting clothes, the most expensive clothes. I mean, that £90,000 blanket she wore in Morocco. I mean, this $67,000 black engagement dress with the nips showing through. I mean, this woman per dress was almost $100,000, if not more. So she thought that she was going to swindle people and get freebies. And no, King Charles had to pony up the money because they are not allowed to take freebies like that. Everybody knows that. This is why they fell off. They fell out with Victoria Beckham when she sent the invoice for the 6 dresses Meghan took. So King Charles was actually very gracious. He hired that black choir, the gospel choir that was beautiful. I mean, he paid for everything. You know that horribly fitted bridal gown from Meghan that she wore, white. To Meghan Markle has worn the whitest bridal gown. This woman with the veil in front of her. You know what I mean? And he paid for it. If you thought that Meghan Markle paid for it, you'd be wrong. It's wrong. King Charles paid for everything, even for Doria's. He bought her like 20 or so really expensive outfits for her during her stay there. They were invited to come to Sandringham for Christmas. This is, yes, the Queen did that, but also because King Charles instigated that, because he wanted to be very inclusive. They have learned from the mistakes of the past. And then he walked her down the aisle. I mean, he was so gracious to this bitch, to Meghan. And how does she repair all of that? By abusing the generosity, abusing the system, abusing the protocols, and at the same time knowing that the royal family, that she had the royal family corner because, I got the race card. Everybody was terrified because it was right around the time of the Black Lives Matter. Then they went and did that horrible thing when Harry did the Oprah sit down with Meghan Markle. And he went along with her lies, claiming or slandering Princess Catherine, his father, the Queen, Prince Philip, who was dying. That he denied it 2 years later didn't make any point. And then he goes and says that his father was never there. His father didn't hug him. We know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. Even I am willing to go, and you guys know I criticize King Charles. But I don't believe that when Harry says that King Charles didn't hug him and just said, oh, your mom died. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. Because King Charles was horribly bullied growing up at Gordonstown. So I don't see him doing that. And he's actually, quite nice. And you see that they're very tactile and everything else. I don't believe anything that Harry says. He's another born liar like Meghan Markle. And if he wasn't a born liar, he sure as hell learned fast from Meghan Markle. For years, they've been attacking this family for the past 4 years. And even before that, they were leaking really nasty information to the press. Of course they were. They've accused King Charles of bribing the press, that King Charles stopped him from suing the press, that King Charles has blocked his access, that King Charles, and William clearly, and Princess Catherine, who was nothing but kind and loving to this asshole, to Harry. So now he gets diagnosed with cancer. He's about 70 some years old. He's battling cancer, guys. I have seen how unkind the trolls were with Princess Catherine and with King Charles. How vile they were. It's bad if she's not looking like crap. It's bad if she's looking like crap. They're happy if she looks like crap. You know what's so funny? People here, because I had a little tumor in my esophagus and it turned out to be cancerous, and they removed it, and I underwent a course of radiation therapy. Everybody is up in arms that I haven't lost my hair. I lost quite a lot of hair. I don't know if you can see this, but I have a lot of hair. I'm like a poodle. But the anger, it's the anger. It's vile. I've seen it in comments, by the way. So it's very, very, it's incredible how these people, I'm just a small YouTuber. So I don't blame King Charles for having the biggest Christmas he has this year. At the end of the day, Prince Harry is his son. He does love that jerk. You know, my son right now, he has COVID. He's in Canada. He can't come here for Christmas, and I can't fly over there because I can't be around him because my immune system is compromised at the moment. Even though I finished my radiation therapy, I have to be very careful with, you know, not getting sick or anything. And I'm like, it stays on your mind, you know, like I know the doctor said I'm supposed to be going every month to do checkups, blood, you know, to make sure that, you know, I don't have it or it hasn't returned. But I'm doing it on a weekly basis because I'm freaked out. I am. And I grant that my son, he's not Harry. My son is wonderful. He's loving. We have a very nice bond. But I don't know, maybe even if whatever reason it is, I would still want to see my son. But I can't imagine King Charles inviting everybody. Some people say it's his last Christmas because some people are implying that he wants to abdicate. I don't think so. I think King Charles has waited too long to, you know, to be the king. I think he's going to die on the throne, to tell you the truth. But I do believe he's going to be given more responsibilities to Prince William and Princess Catherine and other members of the royal family as he continues to battle and undergo his treatment, which is human. And I understand it. I get it. I get it that he will want to have, because when you're diagnosed with the C word, your whole world changes. At least it did for me. It really does change. It's a scary diagnosis, and you start reevaluating things. And even though Harry and Meghan are absolute jerks, are absolute nasty people, they are the worst. They embody the worst of human nature. I don't blame them for inviting them over to come to Sandringham for Christmas, because an invitation will always be extended to them, and it has been extended from what I was told, which is not surprising. King Charles is not a petty man. Harry and Meghan are petty people, are vindictive people. I would be very surprised if they don't come out and say that they're not going to attend, or they're trying to negotiate having the same type of security that Prince William has. I really don't understand why Harry keeps saying that the United Kingdom is dangerous for his children, invisible children, because they are unsafe there. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. That is not that bad. Hey, the States is pretty bad, and I don't mean to offend anybody in the United States. Uvalde, the schools shooting, random shootings on the streets, the levels of violence. And yet, he can't bring, if he were to come for Christmas, there would be a Sandringham, which is incredibly secure. But of course, Meghan Markle doesn't want to come, because she's afraid that if she comes, she won't leave. Also, because it would remind Harry, you know, it would start deprogramming Harry from all the programming she gave this jerk. Harry's not off the hook for me, but she is more cunning than he is. And he is an idiot, guys. I've always said that he's an evil Forrest Gump, British Forrest Gump. But for once, I am not going to judge King Charles for extending an invitation, because he said that they always will have an open invitation. If they accept to come, it's going to be very interesting, because Princess Catherine and Prince William are going to be there, as well as the rest of the family. Princess Catherine's in her message that she gave for the Christmas carols, she talked about forgiveness. She talked about, because she's a wonderful woman, unlike the skank Meghan Markle. So what do you guys think? Do you think that it was a mistake of King Charles to extend that open invitation to them to come for Christmas? Do you think that they will come? Or do you think that they will turn it around and say, oh, they never invited us? Because they know that the king cannot come out and say, oh, yes, we did invite you. We did invite you. You just didn't show up. Or do you think they don't want to come because there are no kids? I mean, it is such a sad state of affairs, that Harry and Meghan show once again. Well, if Meghan didn't care when her father had 2 or 3 heart attacks, why should her own father, her own flesh and blood, had 2 or 3 heart attacks? Why is she going to care about King Charles? Absolutely cold-hearted woman. Please let me know what you think.